All right, everyone, and welcome back into the cave. This is MLB The Show 25 franchise mode. We are here with the 1998 Montreal Expos. And yes, I said 1998 because it has come to my attention that that is the roster that I have. After rewatching last week's and seeing a few of those players, I said, wow, some of those guys I don't remember playing for those teams, and it turned out that yes, they did play for those teams, and yes, it was 1998 when they actually did so. So this is not the rosters from the year that the Marlins went and won the World Series. This is actually the rosters from the year that the Yankees took on the Padres and beat them in 4. So exciting stuff. I do apologize if I kept saying 1997. I was looking for certain players that I thought were on the teams that obviously were not there. So we will start this episode at the All-Star break. Right at the end of our last episode, we did get to the All-Star break. The team is 46 and 51. We took a quick look at the All-Star team to see who was there. We're going to jump in. We'll play that just like we've been playing all of our other simulated games, and then it's right into the season. Now, as we're watching our games being simulated, we'll be keeping an eye on the World Series, which is going on tonight. The Dodgers and the Blue Jays in game number 3. And, of course, we'll be keeping an eye on football, which there's also a Monday Night Football game going on at the same time. So if you're coming in to join us, once again, welcome on in. We'll be getting started here in probably about 2 minutes or so. And those are a few of the things we'll be looking at this evening. If you do join and you're just coming in, make sure you throw a little hello there in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. And any comments or questions or anything that you have, please go ahead and share them as we make our way through the episode. If you are my one regular viewer, hello to you. Welcome back in, and looking forward to a pretty exciting and eventful evening here as we try to get our Montreal Expos through this inaugural season. Inaugural season with us as the managers, and then hopefully into a playoff berth if we can. All right, all right, all right, everyone. Once again, welcome back into the cave. We are continuing on this evening with the Montreal Expos franchise mode. We have jumped into the time machine and gone back to 1998. Yes, that's right. I said 1998. We downloaded the rosters as close as possible as we could get them, and we have made it all the way to the All-Star break with the 1998 Montreal Expos. If you're unfamiliar with the history of the Expos, or if you're young enough to not remember who the Expos even are, I suggest making your way over to Netflix and checking out a recently released documentary about the Expos and what happened to them as a franchise. Very interesting, kind of opened up some eyes to me. I would suggest to make sure you have your subtitles on, as a lot of it is in French, so it can be a little tough to follow. It's not the kind of thing we could just turn it on and just kind of roll along with it. You're going to want to make sure to have your reading glasses on so you can check it out. But really, really cool watch if you're a baseball fan and you remember the Expos. So just a little piece there. If you're just coming in as your first time joining us, basically, as I mentioned in the intro there, we did go and download the 1998 rosters. Big thanks to the gentleman that was able to put that together. We've got the Olympic Stadium. We've got all the teams in their original ballparks. Well, pretty close to their 1998 ballparks, and we've been kind of just rolling through. There's going to be a couple things that you'll notice as we roll through the episode. When we play against certain teams, some of the numbers may be different, and a lot of that is because the game recognizes retired numbers, and when you recreate or create players, sometimes it won't allow you to use those. Examples, Cal Ripken Jr. doesn't wear number 8 on here. Derek Jeter doesn't wear number 2, and so on and so forth. But with all that being said, let's go ahead. We're going to jump right into this. Also, as we roll through the game tonight and we're playing, I'll be giving updates on the World Series that's going on live in Los Angeles right now. They've just got underway. I believe they actually just threw out the first pitch. And we'll be talking a little bit about the football game. I'll keep an eye on that as well. So if you come on in and you're joining, make sure to like, subscribe, of course, comment. Let me know you're here. I'd love to hear from you while we're rolling through. And we're going to have some fun here with our Montreal Expos. So let's kind of go around and take a look at where we left off, shall we? So we left off our last episode with our last game against the Houston Astros. Shane Reynolds got the win. Dustin Hermanson took the loss for us. Billy Spires was the player of the game. He was 2 for 3 with 3 runs, 2 doubles, and 2 walks in an 11-3 shellacking by the Houston Astros as we made our way into the All-Star break. As you can see, we are 46-51 on the season with a 474 win percentage. I've been playing so many hockey games. I was about to say a 474 save percentage, but yes, it's a 474 win percentage. So not the greatest. We're 4-6 in our last 10. We did have a bright spot though throughout the first half of the season as we saw the emergence of the great Trey Moore on the hill. He did take 2 losses towards the end of the first half, but the man has been pitching great for the Expos and might even make an appearance in the All-Star game for the National League. Okay, so we're going to lead it off. Let's see if we have anybody in the home run derby. And we're going to say that the All-Star game is at the Metrodome in Minnesota, so that'll be fun. We're going to do 1-minute times for the home run derby, and oh, wow, look at who's in it. So Derek Jeter representing the Yankees, Sammy Sosa, Chipper Jones, Ken Griffey Jr., Manny Ramirez, Noma Garcia-Para, Tony Gwynn, and Javi Lopez. So just for fun, we're going to play as Tony Gwynn in the Home Run Derby. That's for a good friend of mine who's out there. And if he gets to see this, cool. If he doesn't, too bad. But I don't think we ever saw Tony Gwynn in the Home Run Derby. But here we go. Okay, so the way that this rolls is we get our home run swings, and then hopefully we get ourselves into the tournament. Round 1, top 4 home run totals advance to round 2. Round 2 is the semifinals. Round 3 is the finals. And then any bonus for all rounds, you get 3 bonus outs. Every swing is a home run or an out. Okay, so we're not going to watch everybody do this, so we'll fast forward right to T. Gwynn, and let's see what he can do here in the Home Run Derby. Yeah, not quite. Not quite. All right. Oh, that's it. Now, Tony Gwynn wasn't much of a home run hitter, but he is in our Home Run Derby, and I am making him look horrible.
30 seconds left.
There's one. Oh, he launched it. 2? Oh. Three home runs for T. Gwynn. Uh-oh, that's a foul ball. All right, here we go. There it is. Wow, look at this one. Upper deck. An upper deck jobber for Tony Gwynn. So he's hit 4. And that's it. That's all he gets. All right, I don't think that's going to move us on. So let's go ahead and see what we got. No, we did not move on. So the Home Run Derby champion in 1998 is Sammy Sosa. He beats Ken Griffey Jr. in the final round. He had 11 dingers, and Ken Griffey Jr. had 10, so that's a little fun. Maybe we'll do that each time. Who knows? Just to see who we get to see. Tony Gwynn, of course, only hit 4 home runs, and so did Javi Lopez, so at least we weren't the lowest.
Ladies and gentlemen,
There's your Home Run Derby champion, Sammy Sosa.
Sammy Sosa.
Okay, so that was fun. That was interesting. Now we're going to go in and we're going to actually manage the National League in the All-Star game. And if it's good, maybe we'll jump in and see how these guys play. The one really cool thing that I like about the All-Star game on here now is that they actually have the team's uniforms, which is something they didn't have before because we had those many silly years where they wore those goofy outfits in real baseball. But they actually went ahead on this game now, and you can play, and they wear their actual uniforms, which is super cool. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to jump in and see what happens in this game. Uh-oh, I simulated it. No, I didn't. Okay, I guess we're going to play it. And we'll do quick manage. Yeah, we'll quick manage it. And let's see how the National League makes out. Here in this one, no, we don't want to do that. We're going to do the same stadium. Oh, no, I have created stadiums. I'm just so fast with the buttons sometimes. All right, let's try this again. We played the Home Run Derby here, so we'll play the game here as well. And Rick Reed is going to get the start for the National League. And here's our lineup. So at shortstop, we'll have Barry Larkin. Second base, Bill Miller. Chipper Jones will play third base from the Braves. From the Chicago Cubs, we'll have Sammy Sosa. T. Gwynn will bat fifth. David Justice of the Philadelphia Phillies. The Philadelphia Phillies. Will bat sixth and play left field. Kendall will start at catcher. JT Snow will play first base, and Reggie Sanders will round out the lineup in center field. On the bench, we have Kilvio Veras of the Padres. We have Adrian Beltre of the Dodgers. Brad Ausmus of the Houston Astros. Bobby Henley made the All-Star game. Whoopee for Bobby Henley in his first All-Star appearance. The Montreal Expos speedster of a catcher. Let's see his stats. So 9 home runs, 33 ribbies. He's batting .225, and he is representing our Montreal Expos in the All-Star game, which means we're going to have an at-bat with him. So that's exciting stuff. Mark Grace is on the bench, first base. Counsell, second base. Andy Fox, shortstop. Eric Carroll's first base. Gary Sheffield in right field. So we got a lot of talent on our bench. So we should hopefully be able to do something. When we get to our players, we'll jump in. I will warn you right now that they will not be wearing the Montreal Expos uniforms. They will be rocking the Washington Nationals because the system and the game hasn't quite figured out that the created uniforms should carry into the All-Star game. So the first time I did that, I made this whole league. I had all the new uniforms. The game comes on, and I am literally watching like 6 Nationals play, and I was like, oh my goodness, how did that work out? But that's the way it does work. So, and that's going to do it. So let's go ahead and jump into this one. So Chucky Knobloch is going to lead off for the American League. Look at the American League. Knobloch, O'Neill, Jeter, Manny Ramirez, Tino Martinez. That's 5 Yankees. 5 Yankees out of the first, or I'm sorry, 4 out of the first 5 batters are Yankees. So Rick Reed has his challenges. He gets Knobloch to strike out. He gets O'Neill to ground out. Jeter, who's leading the league in home runs, walks. Rick Reed attempts to pick him off and can't get him. Manram grounds out. All right, so here's Barry Larkin against Pedro Martinez, who's on the hill for the American League. Larkin singles. Then he steals second base. Miller bunts him over, so Chipper hits a 2-run jack, and the National League goes up that early. And look at the manager making those calls. Setting that one up. Sammy Sosa grounds out. Here's T. Gwynn, and he strikes out, which was very rare. If Tony Gwynn struck out, that's kind of crazy. All right, here's Tino Martinez now to lead off the second. He grounds out. Nomar Garciaparra with the single. Ken Griffey Jr. with the single. So we got first and third. Cirillo, fielder's choice. Darren Fletcher grounds out. All right, so David Justice grounds out. Kendall's going to ground out. Snow with the ground out. So we're going to try to let these guys probably play two innings, maybe 3 innings, and then we'll start switching people up off the bench. Chucky Knobloch flies out. O'Neill grounds out. Derek Jeter is going to ground out. All right, Reggie Sanders, you're going to get a chance to bat, and he singles. That's good. Now we're going to go to the... Yeah, they all had an at-bat, so let's go ahead and switch guys up. So let's bring in a shortstop, and Andy Fox, you're going to get a chance to hit. He grounds into a double play because he most definitely does. All right, our second baseman is Kilvio Veras off the bench, and he strikes out. Way to go, Kilvio. All right, Rick Reed, you're coming out, and we are going to... Did our guy make it? No, he didn't make it. How does Trey Moore not make it? How in the heck does Trey Moore not make it to the All-Star team? That's absolutely garbage. The guy's like 9-2. Okay, we'll bring in, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 closers, but Ugueth Urbina made it, so that's pretty good. Little expo. All right, and we're going to bring in Todd Stottlemyre. He'll pitch here in the 4th. He gets a ground out. Martinez strikes out. Nomar. He gets Nomar to strike out. So Randy Johnson's on the hill. I love this discount Randy Johnson that they made. He looks a little like him. Chipper, sorry, but it's the 3rd inning, so you're coming out. Adrian. No, I put Brad Ausmus in. Mike Messina comes in for... And he gets a strikeout. Mike Moose. They call him Mike Moose. That's great. Ground out for Sosa. Gwynn with the ground out. Okay, so Stottlemyre, you're coming out. Let's bring in the next starter. It's Matt Morris of the Cardinals. He gets Griffey. Cirillo singles. Darren Fletcher into a double play. All right, David Justice and you, my friend, are going to come out. So David Justice comes out. Greg Vaughn comes in. Radke gives up a single to Vaughn. Bobby Henley at the plate, baby. Expos catcher extraordinaire. 9 homers, 33 ribs, 225. And he walks just like he would normally. So there's nobody out. We've got JT Snow at the plate. He's got a little pop. Let's see who we have for first base backing him up. We got Mark Grace. And we have Eric Karros. So we'll bring in Karros now. He flies out. Reggie Sanders is still out there. We're going to pinch hit for him. And we bring in Brian Jordan. Brian Jordan, fielder's choice. Andy Fox, fielder's choice. Okay, so we have a 2-run lead on that first inning homer from Chipper. We're going to switch up the pitchers, going to Pedro Astacio. He gets a flyout, gets a strikeout, gets Jeter. So what I've noticed is when they're simulating the game, their manager doesn't switch as much as we do. I mean, if you're really watching the All-Star game, these guys are not going to bat 3 or 4 times. Some of them may, but it doesn't usually happen. So Kilvio Veras, singles. We're going to have him steal. Oh, he got caught stealing. And we're going to get Brad Ausmus out of there. He's not a third baseman. We'll bring in Adrian Beltre. He strikes out. Sosa strikes out. Astacio, you're coming out. And we're going to bring in Dave Malicki of the Mets. And Palmeiro comes in to pinch hit. Strike out Tino Martinez. Edgar Martinez comes in for him. There's a ground out. Noma. Mike Sweeney pinch hits. And nothing happening. So Bobby Jones is on the hill. Tony Gwynn. We're going to leave Tony Gwynn still in the game. Why not? John Wetland comes in. Ground out. Single for Greg Vaughn. He's 2 for 2 in this one. Bobby Henley, fielder's choice. Karros grounds out. We go to the top of the 8th. Dave Malicki, goodbye. Ugueth come in for the hold.
That hit him.
Ugueth hits his first batter here in the All-Star game. Cirillo's going to... Oh, we threw out Ken Griffey Jr. And that was Bobby Henley because he's catching right now. Cirillo with the single. Fletcher. All right. Back to our spot. Let's go ahead and bottom of the 8th. We've got center fielder. We're going to put Sheffield in center field. That's a little different. Mike Jackson comes in. There's a walk for Gary Sheffield. We have him steal second. Andy Fox bunts him over. Kilvio grounds out because he does. Adrian grounds out. So we go to the top of the 9th. It's a 2-0 game. Ugueth got the hold. We're going to try to go for the close now. And we're bringing in the good old... I was going to bring in Rod Beck, but I'm also wanting to see Rob Nen or Billy Wagner. No, we're bringing in Rod Beck. Killer Keller, this one's for you. I know how much you like Rod Beck, so we're going to go with Rod Beck. Rod Beck here. Ray Durham comes in. He singles. Bernie Williams comes off the bench. And he hits into a double play. Derek Jeter with a chance to keep this thing alive. Are they going to take him out? They bring in Joe Randa for the American League MVP probable Derek Jeter. Randa walks. We try to pick him off, but Matt Lawton's coming in. Matt Lawton of the Minnesota Twins. And there's the ground out. And the National League has taken the All-Star game. No thanks to Bobby Henley, but Ugueth Urbina got the hold. So we get a little performance from our Expos in this one. Okay, we're going to skip the futures game because we don't really care. And we'll sim through the 17th and get ourselves into the second half of the season. So, the first 20 minutes or so of the episode, we got to see the All-Star break. We saw Tony Gwynn in the Home Run Derby, which was kind of ridiculous. And we saw the National League win the All-Star game with Ugueth Urbina getting the hold. and Bobby Henley went 0 for 2. So our Expos, they didn't have the greatest appearances, but it was nice to see them play in an all-star game. So before we jump into the second half of the season, let's go ahead and we're going to take a look at the current National League and American League standings, and then we'll roll into it. So here's where we stand right now. The Montreal Expos in the National League East are currently in 4th place. They are 11 games behind the Atlanta Braves, who went on a tear to close out the first half of the season heading into the All-Star break. So make a note of this. We want to make sure we see where we are at the break. We are currently 5 games below the 500 mark. So we want to try to get 500 on the season or a possible playoff berth. That would be really cool if we could do that. In the National League Central, we've got the Reds holding the top spot. They are a game ahead of the Cardinals and 4 games ahead of the Cubs, so that could be an interesting race as we move through the remainder of the season. Out west, the Padres have a 5.5 game lead on the Dodgers, so pretty accurate to 1998. Of course, the Padres had a great year and did go to the World Series, and they lost in 4 to my Yankees, but still they had a very good, solid year that year. The wild card looks a little like this. Right now, the Cardinals, the Cubs, and the Mets at the break hold wild card spots, but the Dodgers and the Giants are right behind. And if we know anything about the Mets, who actually had a nice early lead after the first month of the season, they could start to trail off as we go through this little experiment. The American League East looks like this. The Yankees have a 10-game lead currently over the Boston Red Sox, so not a shocker there. The 1998 Yankees were dominant and basically just beat up on everybody most of the season. Out in the Central, it's a pretty solid race. So the Twins have a 2-game and a 2-game lead on the Sox and a 3.5-game lead on the Indians, and the Royals are actually right there too. So this could be quite the race out in the Central. And then, of course, out west, the Mariners and the Brewers are kind of battling it out there. The A's, the Angels, and the Rangers are pretty much out of it as we roll into the second half of the season. But if one of them comes back, it would be quite the miracle. In the wild card race, the Brewers, Sox, and White Sox currently hold spots, with the Indians and the Royals really kind of on the outside looking in here in the 1998 playoff race. Okay, so that's going to do it there for our current standings. Not going to go too far into the stats and everything right now. We'll kind of do that at the end of the episode. We'll see where everybody stands. Again, if you're just joining us, we did take a look at the All-Star game. We had Tony Gwynn in the Home Run Derby, and we managed the National League to a victory in the All-Star game. We had appearances from Ugueth Urbina, who is our closer, and, of course, my favorite catcher, Bob Henley, who I am turning into a Hall of Famer for certain. By the time this is all said and done, Bob Henley will have his plaque in Cooperstown if I have my way. All right, so let's go ahead back to the calendar. And what we're going to do here is we are going to simulate until we have we'll probably simulate 3 series and then jump in and play a game or 2. If there's any major injuries, we'll jump in and do that. But we want to try to get through the second half of this season and see what happens. We've already did the draft, so this is just baseball now. We are playing baseball for certain. Okay, so we start out right here with the San Diego Padres. Andy Ashby's on the hill for the Padres. Carlos Perez is on the hill for the Expos. And we go right to an injury. So we pick up an injury here down in AAA. Alan Battle is no longer injured. So what do I want to do? Well, I want my coach to do his job down there. So go ahead and do what you must. Today is a day to sign draft picks because, of course, it is. Would I like to stop simulating? Yes, let's go ahead and talk to our draft picks. So the way that this works, so on the top of the screen, you can see where it says motivation to sign. Danny Bishop right now is a 54% motivated to sign. So we got a 50-50 shot of getting him to sign with the team. He was our first pick overall in the draft. So, of course, we want to make an attempt to sign him. We can work on him for a little bit. Let's see who we have in here that's more motivated right now. So, yes, Kareem Hawkins. He's an 86 to 96 potential. He is a left fielder. We know we need an outfielder, so he's asking for about $701,000. So Kareem, let's just offer him a contract, see what he does. And we're not going to add anything to it. We're just going to place the offer. And he declines the offer because, of course, he does. I mean, it's Montreal, right? We know they had some issues. Okay, so Kareem, thank you for whatever. We're going to leave him right in that slot. Right on top of that, you see +5 motivation per 2 days, +10 scouting. He's already 100% scouted. So, question from Gavin. Welcome on in. So, Dodgers or Blue Jays? Who am I cheering for? I am cheering for... Yeah, I'm going to have to say the Toronto Blue Jays, and it's very difficult for me to be a Toronto Blue Jays fan right now because they completely destroyed my New York Yankees and sent me home a-crying. But on their bench is my favorite player of all time. And I would love to see Donnie Baseball get himself a World Series ring, even if he didn't play in the games. He was there, and he took that team, along with the other coaches, to the World Series. So, yes, I am rooting for the Toronto Blue Jays in the World Series. And, again, that's very hard for me to do because they completely destroyed my Yankees. And thank you, Gavin, for bringing that up because that is hurting. That definitely hurts. But getting back to our team here in Montreal, hopefully we can get a little something more out of them. The Montreal Expos, this is their fourth-round pick. We picked him 82nd overall, Kareem Hawkins. He has no backstory, so feel free to create one for him. Shoot me a text if you've got some ideas. He's a +5 motivation to sign over the next 2 days. He's currently at 67%, so we're going to leave him in the bucket there. We're also going to put Danny Bishop in there because he was our first overall pick, and why would we waste a first overall pick to not use him or not try to sign him? And Evan Capps, well, he's an 80 to 95 overall potential. So right now he'll start at about 56. We probably have to leave him down in the minors for a while, but hey, it is what it is. So if we can get Evan Capps to sign with the team, then, we'd have a nice little third baseman down in the minors. So, okay, so we've got our 3 guys we're going to try to sign by next week or within the next 2 days. So, okay, let's go ahead and advance that, finalize the 2-day signing plan, and let's go back to some baseball. All right, so we start off with the San Diego Padres, and the 1998 Padres, of course, like I said earlier, were a very, very good team, got themselves to the World Series, and then got worked. So that's all I got to say about that. Let's go ahead and check out these next couple games. So we get the win in Game 1. Great job, Expos. We get the loss in 2. And, of course, we got to go back and sign. I guess it's every 2 days with these guys. Somebody sign. Kareem, you want to sign yet? Kareem says, yes. Thank you very much, Kareem. Welcome to the Expos. All right, Danny Bishop, let's offer him a contract. And he says, no. Well, you know what, Danny? Then to heck with you. Evan, how you feeling about signing with the team? He says, yes. Okay, so we got ourselves a third baseman. We got ourselves a left fielder. All right, that's 2 guys that we definitely wanted. Let's continue to work on Dan Bishop and go in here. And Anthony Glass, he was one of our last picks. Look he's a 65 to a 99. And we took him in the 5th round, 112th overall. So let's see what we get out of him. PJ Patrick, well, let's work on Alejandro Calero. Little relief pitcher. We'll see what we get out of him. Dan Bishop, I mean, it is possible to draft and not end up getting anybody, but I'm kind of banking on Anthony Glass. Man, if we get Anthony Glass between a 90 and a 99, that would be great. Okay, so I think it's going to stop me every 2 games to do that. So let's see the Sunday game, and Okay, that's an injury down in the minors. That's an injury down in the minors. And we get the win. So we come out of San Diego, or I'm sorry. No, we were at home for that one. So we take 2 out of 3 from San Diego at home. We are 48-52 heading into a home series with Cincinnati. And we get a win. And they want me to sign again. All right, you know what? I got to tell someone to just do this for me. Can you do that? We won't do that. That takes all the fun out of it, right? Okay, so Danny, let's see. You going to sign with us yet? Danny Bishop says, yeah, I'll sign with you. All right, so we got our first round pick. We got our, I think, third and fourth. Let's see who's left. Round 7, PJ Patrick is still out there. These guys, Anthony's got some motivation. And he declines. So we got to work on him for a little bit, but we'll do that. Sorry if I'm rolling through that pretty quick. I can slow down. Just let me know. But as you can see here on the main board, Dan Bishop, number 1 overall pick in the first round, starting pitcher, has decided to sign with the Montreal Expos. So good for him. And if history tells us anything, we'll probably get him going down in the minors and then trade him after a year or two when he becomes a halfway decent pitcher in the Montreal system. But we don't want to let that happen. We're trying to make this a different Montreal Expos team. Okay, so back to the calendar here, and we are on fire out of the All-Star break. We are 3-1, and we're going to let that fix itself. We're going to let that fix itself. We take a loss to Cincinnati. We take another loss to Cincinnati, and they're making me go back and sign draft picks. And let's see if Anthony Glass will sign. He declines. Well, we've got plenty of bucks to give these guys, right? So I can't sign him until the next time. Nobody else wants to sign yet, so we'll skip that. All right, getting back to the calendar. We've got a day off on the 24th, and we head to we head on the road. So let's see what we've got here on the road. We've got Minnesota for 3, and we've got Milwaukee for 3, and then it's right back to Montreal for the Houston Astros, who gave us quite the butt whooping as we headed into the All-Star break. So we've got Minnesota. We're going to jump into that game on Sunday. So I think that's what we'll do here as we kind of build this format out. We'll jump into the Minnesota series. So let's see. The Friday game, we get the win. And again with the draft picks. Okay, signing draft picks. Anthony Glass, do you want to sign? He says, I'll sign with the Expos. Good for you. Hopefully he knows French. All right. Okay. So, getting back to our calendar. And let's go ahead and, while we're in between games here, we've got a look at the World Series. And the Dodgers have jumped out to a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the second. And, yeah, I didn't exactly see what happened. So, it looks like Max Scherzer's on the hill. And maybe somebody hit a home run. I don't know. That's probably what happened. If they did, give me a thumbs up. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. Okay. So, we've got the Twins in the second game, and oh, look at that. We call that a winning streak. We have won 2 in a row. Carl Pavano is on the hill. And let's actually, hey, you know what? Where is he? There he is. All right, so we're gonna go in and we're gonna play the Trey Moore games. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play all the Trey Moore games. So we have won 3 in a row. This team is 52-54. 52-54 and making moves. And we head to Milwaukee and we lose. And we lose again. Okay, so every time I say something, we end up losing back-to-back games, right? Of course we do. Back to signing draft picks because that's what we love to do, I guess. I don't know. Alejandro Calero, will you sign? Yeah, we'll give you a boatload of cash. How do you feel about that? He says no. I say, why? I'm giving you money. I have so much extra money, and I want to just give it to you. I'll give you $1 million, PJ. That's more than I gave the guy who was the first overall pick. And he says, $1 million, sign me up, dude. I got my Rocket League glove on. I'm ready to roll, kid. All right, so we got PJ Patrick. Our last draft pick is Alejandro Calero. I offered the dude like $750K, and he didn't take it. He didn't take it. But anyway. Okay, let's get back to the calendar. We're going to play right up to our next game with Trey Moore. And we have lost 2 in a row after sweeping Minnesota. And we got swept by Milwaukee. Okay, so, if he doesn't sign this time, I'm going to offer him, here you go, here's $1 million. Welcome to the, and he turned it down. He turned down $1 million again. I don't know. It must be something about like the Canadian dollar and I don't know. He's not too excited about signing, and he's gone now. So we lost him. We lost Calero. That's okay. We got all of our other picks, so good for us. And we'll take a look here in a second to see how these guys turn out. So basically what happens is we draft them, we sign them, and then their actual overall attributes will show up on the screen. We'll be able to see how we did in the draft. So I'm hoping we got a couple of high 80s, low 90s for this team. Would be great because if you see in our roster, it's kind of garbage, especially in the bullpen. And we don't have anything. To work with down in the minors either. So you see our relief pitchers, a 58 overall, a 57 overall, a 56 overall. So it's been a complete struggle, but we still have 52 wins. So good for us on that front, right? Good for us with the pitching that we have. I mean, we're basically like lobbing balls in there and just letting them knock them out of the park. So as you can see, we've been through, looks like, about 10 games or so since the All-Star break came to an end, and we are now at 52 and 57. We start making some moves, and then it's right back to losing. So Trey Moore, let's go ahead, and we're going to jump in. And we are going to play the Trey Moore game. From Olympic Stadium. Trey Moore on the hill. You see our lineup. Here's our lineup. So if you're unfamiliar with the lineup, it's your first time seeing it. At second base and leading off, we've got Mark Grudzielanek. Terry Jones is playing left field. Vlad Guerrero Sr. If you're watching the World Series right now, you're seeing Junior. This is Senior. He's batting third and playing right field. Rondell White is batting fourth and playing center field. Widger at catcher. Shane Andrews at third base. Orlando Cabrera at shortstop. Brad Fulmer is at first base. And, of course, Trey Moore, our pitcher, who should have been in the All-Star game. Again, how's he not in the All-Star game? Because this is a National League park, we are going to have the pitchers hitting. So that is also interesting to see. Trey Moore on the season, he's 11-2 with a 2.21 ERA. And he didn't make the All-Star game.
Play ball.
Big time snub. Okay, let's see how he does here in this one, shall we? So, Billy Spires will bat first for the Astros, and he strikes out. Ricky Gutierrez reaches on an error. We're going to try to pick him, and he's safe. Matty Williams hits into a double play. Thank you very much. Mike Hampton on the hill for the Stros. He's 4-11. 127.2 innings. I almost said 127.2 ERA. I don't think he'd be in Major League Baseball. I don't even know if that can happen. I have no idea if that can actually happen, but I almost said it. 87 Ks on the year, 4.44 ERA with a 1.44 WHIP. So not the best numbers for Mike Hampton. Maybe that'll help us out. But we know what the Astros did to us in the last series. Grudzielanek strikes out. Terry Jones grounds out. Vladdy is going to pop up. Cliff Floyd leads off for the Astros. He singles. Hidalgo, well, looks like Cliff Floyd stole second base. And then, of course, to get the double, but we threw out Cliff Floyd to home plate. All right, so Carl Everett strikes out. Tony Eusebio grounds out. All right, so Rondell White hits a solo jack. Thank you very much. Rondell White, who has done nothing in our Sims, comes up big with a home run. A single from Chris Widger. Shane Andrews is going to bunt him over because we play small ball in Montreal. Cabrera pops out. Brad Fulmer grounds out. So we have got Jeff Bagwell at the plate. Jeff Bagwell is batting 8th in this lineup. He's batting 271, 12 dingers, and 45 ribs, and he's batting 8th in this lineup.
Ball 4, take your base.
There's a walk. We walk him to get to Mike Hampton. Hampton strikes out. Now, Mike Hampton, I believe he had a couple of home runs in his career. He might have had a multi-home run season. Let's go to the record books and see Mike Hampton. Well, he did pitch in, I'm pretty sure he pitched in Colorado. So for him to hit a home run or two is probably not a surprise, right? Let's see. Mike Hampton, that's his pitching stats. He actually had in 1998, he went 11-7 with the Astros, and in 99 he went 22-4. What a year he had. His batting stats. Yes, here we go. His batting stats. He hit 7 home runs for the Rockies in 2001. In one season as a pitcher, he hit 7 home runs, and he had a total of 15 in his career. So we know the man can swing the bat a little bit for sure. But not in this inning. He struck out. We got him to strike out. That's because Trey Moore's on the hill. I mean, who's going to beat Trey Moore? Okay, Bill Spires hits into a double play. Trey Moore leading off. He tries to bunt single, and he can't get it.
Take your base. Ball
Grzelcyk walks. Terry Jones flies out, and Vladdy grounds out. So after 3 innings, we have a 1-0 lead. Trey Moore's holding them down. Gutierrez singles, of course, because I said that. We're going to try to pick him off. Can't get him. Matty Williams into a fielder's choice. Cliff Floyd singles. So first and second now fly out. And here's Carl Everett. And Carl Everett strikes out. Okay, Mike Hampton back on the mound. Rondell White, who hit a dinger back there in the second inning. He pops out. Chris Widja with the double. All right, Chris Widja, good job. And here's Shane Andrews. He's going to single in Chris Widja, and it's 2-0 Montreal Expos. Here's Orlando Cabrera. He flies out. So Orlando Cabrera actually made an appearance in that documentary I mentioned earlier. If you weren't listening earlier, there's a great documentary on Netflix right now about the Montreal Expos. It's about an hour and 40 minutes long, but it's a great watch if you're a baseball fan and you remember the Expos. It kind of explains what happened to the team and how they ended up leaving and going to Washington. But Orlando Cabrera did make an appearance in that. Pretty cool little take from him in that documentary. Anyway, Brad Fulmer is going to hit into a fielder's choice. Tony Eusebio will lead off for the Astros. So Trey Moore has a 2-run lead, and he has given up 4 hits in this one. Eusebio reaches on an error. We'll try to pick him off. Do we pitch to Bagwell? Yeah, he flies out. Let's pitch to Hampton. We caught Eusebio stealing, and we get Hampton to ground out. So Trey Moore is going to lead off the inning. He strikes out. Grzelcyk grounds out. Terry Jones is going to strike out. So we have a 2-0 lead, and if you watch any of these, you know that our bullpen sucks. So there's a chance we could blow this, and I sound like the most negative manager ever, but we could blow this thing. All right, Trey Moore out on the mound. Bill Spires hits a single. Gutierrez sack bunt. We're going to walk Matt Williams. We're going to pitch to Cliff Floyd, and he hits into a double play. Now, that is managing if I've seen it. Vladdy grounds out. Rondell White flies out. Chris Widja hits a double. He's 3 for 3 in this game. Chris Widger is on fire. Shane Andrews strikes out. And here's Richard Hidalgo now to lead off the inning. So Trey Moore still has some juice. When I look back at the last episode, there was one game where Trey Moore was pitching a gem, and I took him out, and we ended up losing. And he had just a sliver of energy left. He had given it everything he had, and I took him out. And there's a strikeout there on Hidalgo. Everett hits a single. So this is the same situation. I took him out last time. So it's kind of one of those heads or tails thing. Do I flip a coin and keep him in? What do I do here? Trey Moore gives up a single. Now we're first and second with Bagwell coming up. 1 out and Hampton right behind him. Okay. So we are going to gamble here, and we're going to walk Bagwell. Do we walk Bagwell? Okay, nothing from the peanut gallery. We're going to walk
0-4,
Bagwell.
take your base.
We're going to pitch to Hampton. And they take him out. So Sean Berry's coming to the plate. Bases juiced, 1 out. Trey Moore still on the hill, and Berry hits into a double play, and the gamble completely pays off. Great job there. Sean Berry will not stay on the mound. They bring in C.J. Nitkowski, who I remember being with the Detroit Tigers, I'm pretty sure. Cabrera to lead off for us. He strikes out. Brad Fulmer grounds out. And Trey Moore, now you're coming out. Thank you very much. We're going to bring in good old Mike Mordecai to pinch hit, and he hits a ground out. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring in our setup man, Steve Klein. Steve Klein on the mound. He gets Spires to strike out. He gets Gutierrez to ground out, and he gets Matty Williams to ground out. So C.J. Nitkowski is going to stay out there, maybe? Nope. Reggie Harris comes in. Grudzielanek grounds out. Terry Jones grounds out, and Vladdy Guerrero gets hit by a pitch. To heck with you, dude. You just hit our star. All right, Rondell White, he walks. So we got first and second for Chris Widja. Chris Widja is 3 for 3. I think this is like deja vu right here, man. I'm pretty sure in the last episode, it might have been Chris Widja. No, it was Shane Andrews. But 3 for 3 and didn't get the 4 for 4. Can we get the 4 for 4? Do it, baby. And he grounds out. Because of course he does. Okay, top of the 9th. And it's time to go to Montreal Expos all-star closer, Ugueth Urbina. Ugueth on the bump. Strikes out Floyd. Strikes out Hidalgo. And gets Everett to ground out. And Trey Moore is going to be your player of the game. Great job from Trey Moore. 7 innings pitched. Gives up 7 hits. No runs. None earned. 3 walks. 5 Ks. Great appearance from Trey Moore here. Excellent job by the Expos getting the 2-0 shutout in this one. Okay, so getting back to the calendar, we are 53 and 57. And if you're wondering where I'm getting the record from, it's up on the top left, right under Expos. That's our record. And you can see there, Trey Moore, 12-2, 133 innings pitched, 74 Ks. That's where I get the pitchers from as well. Okay, so moving into the second game of this one, and we get a loss and we get a win. Okay, so we come away 2-1 against the Stros in that one, and we will see Trey Moore in the third game of this series here against the A's. So on the game, the A's are not from Oakland because in real life, they're just called the A's, I guess. So they're just the A's on MLB The Show 25. So against the A's, Kenny Rogers, not of chicken fame. And if you're a 90s kid, you know what I'm talking about. That was one heck of a chicken restaurant. I believe it was Kenny Rogers Roasters, and there may even be a famous episode of a TV show where one of the main characters lives across from a Kenny Rogers Roasters. But Kenny Rogers is also a famous singer, but in this case, he was a great pitcher in Major League Baseball. And we take the loss to Kenny Rogers, and we get a win in Game 2. So heading into the rubber match here against the A's, we've got Trey Moore. Trey Moore comes into this one 12-2, 133 innings pitched, 74 Ks, and a 2.10 ERA. So let's go ahead and jump into this one, shall we? Quick manage this game. And yeah, we're going to be playing, of course, at our home ballpark, Olympic Stadium. Takes a second for that to come up. All right, here we go. Trey Moore will be out on the hill. We've got, let's see, how's our lineup looking? We've got some juice for these guys. We don't have anybody on the bench to really help them anyway, even though, let's see if anybody's cold. Brad Fulmer, you're not swinging a bat too good. So for today's game, we're going to put Ryan McGuire in there since he's got some energy. Who else is struggling? Vlad? Well, I'm sorry, you're definitely not coming out. We definitely need the bat out there. Okay, so here we go. Ricky Henderson. This must have been his 5th time with the A's. Yeah, I watched a little thing about Ricky Henderson too, and he was with the A's quite a bit. I think it was like 4 or 5 times he played with the A's. Of course, we remember him probably more for his late 80s, 90s A's run, if you're watching this, because most of my viewers, or my one viewer, an older person. On the older side, we're older. Okay, we're aged. We're not old. But anyway, now that I made myself laugh a little bit there, Ricky's going to lead off here for the A's, which means if he gets on base, we're going to have to expect him to steal. He grounds out. Jason McDonald grounds out. Jason Giambi strikes out. All right, Darren Oliver up on the hill for the A's. Gruzelanek leads off with a ground out. Jones grounds out. Vladdy hits a jack. So in the pregame, we saw that Vladdy was cold. We left him in, and he hits a home run. So he leads things off for us in the first inning well. And there we go. Trey Moore is going to be on the hill, back on the hill. Sorry, I ramble a little bit. Ben Grieve at the plate. He strikes out. Scott Spezio singles. Miguel Tejada strikes out. And Mike Blowers is going to hit into a fielder's choice. So here comes Widja. Chris Widja, he strikes out. Shane Andrews grounds out. Orlando Cabrera grounds out. Izzy Molina grounds out. Oliver strikes out. And Ricky strikes out. All right, so McGuire is going to fly out. Ground out for Moore. Grzelanic hits. He gets a double. I thought it's a double play. I was like, yeah, of course he does. But there's nobody on base, dude. All right, so we got a runner on second now. Terry Jones, of course, he grounds out. So we're through 3. Trey Moore is pitching pretty good so far. He's given up 1 hit, and that was to Scott Spezio. And, of course, I say that, and there's McDonald with a double. Giambi grounds out. Ben Grieve, yeah, I'm going to walk him to try to set up the double play. Spezio strikes out. Tejada flies out. Okay, so Darren Oliver still out on the hill for the A's. Vladdy, who hit a knock back there in the first, flies out. Rondell flies out. Chris Widja strikes out. I like Chris. I like that name. I think he might be my favorite player, next to Bobby, who I haven't seen playing since the All-Star game. Okay, Mike Blowers, strikeout. Molina, ground out. Oliver, doubles. So the pitcher just doubled off Trey Moore. All right, if I'm the pitching coach, I'm walking out to Trey, and I'm going, dude, seriously? Seriously, we just gave up a double to the pitcher. Ricky walks. Well, good, he won't steal base because Darren Oliver's on second. McDonald strikes out. Okay, Shane Andrews, strikeout. Cabrera, fly out. McGuire, ground out. Jason Giambi, ground out. Ben Grieve, walks. We'll try to pick him. Nothing. Spezio, double play. Okay, so Trey Moore's looked pretty good. He's gone 6 innings. He's given up 3 hits, and he's shutting out the A's. Don't say back-to-back shutout. Oh, you just said back-to-back shutout, and that's how that happens. Okay, Trey Moore at the plate. He grounds out. Grzelanic grounds out, and Terry Jones strikes out. So Trey Moore has got a lot of juice. He's got a lot of energy on his bar left. Tejada pops up. Blowers grounds out. Molina hits a solo jack and ties it up because of course he does. Okay, Darren Oliver. And they'll pitch it. Kurt Abbott. Kurt Abbott is going to strike out. Vladdy, get us a run here. Please. Aaron Small coming on for the A's. Ground out by Guerrero. Ground out by White. And a ground out. Okay, Ricky Henderson to lead things off in the top of the 8th. And before we head into the top of the 8th, let's go ahead and see what's going on in the World Series. And in the World Series, the Dodgers have a 2-0 lead on the Toronto Blue Jays. Scherzer's still out on the hill. They got a run around first. Looks like Freddie. Yeah, Freddie's on first for the Dodgers. So, yeah, I really hope this isn't the kind of thing where the Dodgers end up running away with this thing. Especially after the Blue Jays just, had such an exciting 7-game series with the Mariners and completely throttled the Yankees. I'm really hoping that it's a better series for sure. Okay, Trey Moore, top of the 8th. Henderson singles because of course he does.
He's safe.
We try to pick him off, and they single him over. So we've got first and second. Trey Moore. Do we leave him out there? He gets the double play. Ben Grieve grounds out. So he gets out of that tough inning. Aaron Small is still out there for the A's.
3.
He gets Andrews. Cabrera strikes out. Ryan, don't call me Mark McGuire. More like Lizzie. But anyway, Ryan, don't call me Mark McGuire. Okay, we got to check this out. I don't remember Ryan McGuire's career stats, and we're going to see what Ryan McGuire's career stats are. Ryan McGuire, he played from 1997 to 2002. The left-handed first baseman. He has career RBIs, 55. Career home runs, 7. And he played for 4 major league teams. The Expos, the Mets, the Marlins, and the Orioles. And his best year looks like he had a .4 WAR, and that was with the Expos in 1997. He appeared in 84 games, and that was his best year. 17 ribbies, 3 dingers, a couple of triples. So, Ryan McGuire, true Expo. And he flies out. Okay, so we go to the top of the 9th. Can we get some? Trey Moore is still looking pretty good. And if I leave him in there and a home run gets allowed, I'm going to lose it. Oh, my God. You got to be kidding me, dude. Oh, my God. Did I just call that or what? That'd be a fun one to rewind the tape when I called Scott Spezio's home. I might as well have just stood at home plate and pointed to the outfield and just called it for him. Okay, I'm sorry, Trey. I left you in there too long. It is now time to take you out. Trey's coming out, and we're going to go to Bautista.
Ball 4.
He walks the first batter he faces. Blauer strikes out.
Hit him. First
He gets
base.
hit by a pitch. Now we've got Eric Chavez coming in to pinch hit. He hits a single, drives in another run, a single for Ricky Henderson,
Ball 4. Take
a
your
walk
base.
to McDonald, a fielder's choice for Giambi, and a fly out. So we go into the 9th inning down 4-1 after Trey had such a good game going. Chavez will not be pitching. They're bringing in Billy Taylor. He gets a ground out, and that's going to do it. So a horrible 9th inning. Again, we try to keep Trey in there a little bit too long. He gives up the home run to Spezio, and I look like a fool for leaving him in there for certain. Okay. Let's get out of this one. That's a tough one. So we lose 2 out of 3 against Oakland or whatever team they are now, and we head to the Bay Area for a 3-game set with San Francisco and then a 3-game set with the Kansas City Royals. Okay, we get a loss, a win, and a loss. We will see Trey Moore against Kansas City in the 2nd game of that series. We get another loss. So we're 56 and 63 as we're making our way through the month of August. And we are going to, of course, jump in because we play Trey Moore's games. So let's go ahead and see what happens in this one. Trey, what can you give us? What can you give us in this one? This one's at Kauffman Stadium, Royal Stadium. Trey on the hill. He's 12-3. So that was a tough loss there against Oakland. And they want to replace some of these guys. I'm going to say, nope, you're playing.
Play ball.
Sorry. Okay, Pat Rapp on the hill for the Kansas City Royals. Grudzielanek leads off with a ground out. Chris Widja grounds out. Vlad Guerrero reaches on an error.
He's safe.
He steals second. Rondell flies out. So many wasted opportunities when Rondell White comes up to the plate. And the Dodgers, oh my God, he was toast at home plate. If you're watching the actual World Series, Freddie Freeman walked around third base. Yeah, I mean this looked like a wiffle ball. Look at this, just toast. All right, well that is what it is. All right, so let's get back to this. Now if they lose by 1, that'd be crazy. Okay, so Carlos Beltran will lead off for the Royals, and he grounds out. Hal Morris grounds out, and Johnny Damon. That's right, Johnny Damon played for the Royals. He did. That's right. I forgot about that. Johnny Damon strikes out. All right, Brad Fulmer strikes out. Shane Andrews grounds out. Bobby Henley is back.
He's safe.
And he steals a base because, of course, he does. That's our boy Bobby Henley, all-star caliber catcher for the Montreal Expos. Cabrera singles him in, and it's 1-0 Spos. Jones is going to strike out. Okay, Jeff Conine singles. Mike Sweeney singles. Jeff King singles. Scott Leyes, error. Terry Pendleton
That hit him. He's got
gets hit by a pitch. Trey Moore, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Luis Rivera singles. Beltran strikeout. Hal Morris singles. It's 5-1. He's given up 5 runs in this inning. This is the worst appearance ever for Trey Moore. Johnny Damon singles. Fielder's choice to Conine. And Sweeney finally ends that train wreck of an inning for Trey Moore. So this one's over. I'm just gonna say it now, right now, in the top of the third. This game is over. There's no way we're gonna win this game.
First base.
We gotta walk by a hit by a pitch. Widja singles. So it's first and second. Vladdy, what can you do? He hits a 3-run jack and we're right back in this thing. Rondell White, fly out. Fulmer, single. Shane Andrews, double play. Okay. All right. So they get Trey a little help there in the top of the third.
Ball 4. Take your base.
A walk to Jeff King. Scotty Leyes, strikeout. Terry Pendleton. Oh, they brought in Jose Offerman to pinch run. And there's a pop out. I think they did. Anyway, Luis Rivera doubles in a run, so it's 7-4. Beltran strikes out. I saw the lineup change. Okay, here we go. Bobby Hens singles to lead off the inning.
He's safe.
He steals another base because he's the greatest base-stealing catcher in the history of the game. I don't know who that is. Actually, let's see. Before we move any further here, now that I said that. MLB record for stolen bases by a catcher. No, not who's thrown out by the catcher the most times. You have got to be kidding me. A guy I've never heard of. Wilbert Robinson stole 196 bases as a catcher. That's just too good. That's too good. All right, here we go. Getting back to the game. So Bobby Henley's on second. Nobody's out. Orlando Cabrera is at the plate.
Ball 4.
And
Take
he
your base.
walks. So we go first and second. Is it time to take... Oh, no, wait a minute. We're in an American League Park. So we don't have to worry about the pitcher. We're going to bunt them over because that's the thing to do, right? Especially when you have Grudzielanek coming up who's batting .252. He's going to reach on an error. So bases are juiced for Chris Widja. One swing of the bat, and our boy Widja can turn this into an 8-7 lead. And he hits into a fielder's choice. But we got to run. So it was a productive at-bat for Widja. Widja, what do we do here? Do we steal second and get the third out, or do we let Vlad swing?
3.
He strikes out. Okay, so it's 7-5. This has been an exciting game. Ground out for Morris. Single for Damon.
He's safe.
He steals a base. Ground out for Conine. And we finally have a scoreless inning. Good job, Trey Moore. Good job. Here comes Pat Rapp. Back onto the bump. He's got a 2-run lead in the top of the 5th. Rondell's going to lead it off for the Expos.
Take your base. Ball 4.
He walks.
You're out.
Then he gets caught stealing because he sucks.
Ball 4.
Brad
Take your
Fulmer walks. We're not going to try to steal with Fulmer.
base. 3.
We'll let Shane Andrews strike out, and Bobby Hens will drive him in with the double. Hall of Famer Bobby Hens with the double. All right, Orlando Cabrera is going to go ahead, and he is going to, well, there's going to be a pitching change. And he gets, oh, no, they threw Bobby Hens out at home plate. Oh, come on, Bobby Hens. Trey Moore, you're coming out. Sorry, but you're out of juice, and you've done a pretty decent job. It's 7-6 now, right? So we need someone to come in who can blow this game, and the best guy for that is by far Mike Maddox. So, Mikey, let's see what you can do. He gets a ground out, he gets a pop out, he gets a single, and he gets a ground out. So he pitched his inning, and he did what we needed him to do. So good job, Mikey Maddox. All right, here comes Jones. Jones gets the fly out. Grudzielanek is going to ground out. Chris Widger back at the plate. We love Chris Widger here in Montreal. He's one of our favorite players next to Bobby Hens, and he hits a single. Because, of course, he does. He's freaking Chris Widger. All right, Vladdy Guerrero is going to walk. Beautiful job there. Here comes Rondell White.
Take your base. Ball
He walks. Bases juiced for Brad Fulmer. Bases juiced for Brad Fulmer, and he strikes out. No, come on, dude. All right, do we leave Mike Maddox out there to face the top of the lineup? No, because he likes to blow all of our games. So we're going to take him out, and we're going to Sean Baskey. Sean, we need one solid inning. One.
3.
That's 1/3 of it, and he gives up a single. We know that Johnny Damon has really been
He's safe.
working us. Johnny Damon. Okay. And he sack bunts. Why would you waste Johnny Damon on a sack bunt? For what? You're up in the game. All right, Hal Morris is on second. Conine at the plate, and we get him the ground out. So another good inning pitched for our bullpen. What do you say? Right? That's the dog. I'm talking to the dog. Okay, Ryan Nye on the hill for the Royals. Shane Andrews at the plate. 0 for 3 in this game. They bring in Ricky Bonus. Ricky Bonus, not Bones. I used to call him Bones because I didn't know how to say his name. Ricky Bonus. He gets Shane Andrews. And here comes Montreal's hero, Bobby Hens. And he singles again. Does he go for a third stolen base? Does he? Does he?
He's safe.
Darn right he does. Bobby Hens with the stolen base. Orlando Cabrera
3.
strikes out. What a waste of an at-bat, Orlando. Terry Jones, he's batting .214, 3 homers, 28 ribs, and we are hoping for him to hit a single because we know Bobby Hens has got some speed. And he grounds out. No! Terry Jones, you're going down to the minors. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. All right, Mike Sweeney grounds out. King singles.
He's safe.
So safe. Okay,
Ball
Offerman
4. Take your base.
walks. So first and second. Bosky with 1 out. Can he get Pendleton to ground into the double play? No, he gives up a freaking double. Oh, come on, Sean. Okay, so do we leave him in? No, he gives up a single. Our bullpen sucks. Our bullpen absolutely sucks. Okay, so we're going to go to Telford. Telford gets the double play we needed, but Sean Bosky couldn't do it. Ricky Bonus still out there on the hill. So this team has come back a couple of times now in this game. We have come back a couple of times now in this game, and here is where we are. 10-6 in this one. Grudzielanek is at the plate. He grounds out. Widger. Chris Widger's 2 for 4 in this one. He singles. Great job, Chris. All right. Vladdy fielder's choice.
Ball 4. Take your
Rondell
base.
walks, so first and second for Fulmer, and he grounds out. Bottom of the 8th, Telford gets a ground out, gets a strikeout. Whew. Okay, Shane Andrews, top of the 9th. Let's see if we can get something going. The bottom of the lineup has been great, with the exception of Shane Andrews. He's 0 for 4. But Bobby Hens and Orlando Cabrera are 5 for 6 in this game. Shane Andrews leads off with a ground out. Bob Henley
Ball 4.
walks. He's going to steal second.
He's safe.
Okay, how many stolen bases does he have in this game? How many stolen bases does he have in this game? That's like 4. I think he has 4 stolen bases in this game. He's going to set the all-time record for catcher stolen bases. Bursers. There we go. All right. Orlando Cabrera grounds out. Terry Jones, I am not leaving this game in your hands. We are pinch hitting, and we are bringing in Hubbard, because Hubbard is batting .290. And coming off the bench, we need a big hit. And he grounds out. And we lose that game. So I called it earlier. I said we were going to lose. And sure enough, the team came up big and they lost for me. So great job there. We have lost 3 in a row. And we will see Trey Moore on the 17th of August against Philly. So let's see what happens to us up until then. We get a win against Kansas City. We get a win against Philadelphia. We're going to roll through all that. We get a loss. And we're heading into this Sunday game against Philly. But before we do that, I made a promise. That I was going to send him down to the minors, and that is what we are going to do. So let's go ahead and... Where is he? Aha, Terry Jones. I'm sorry, my friend, but you are playing horrible, and we need someone that can do something, okay? So let's take a look at our AAA team and see who we have down that can play a little bit of outfield for us. We have Robbie Lukacic. He's batting .169. No. We have Chris Stowers. Oh, he's on injured reserve, so he's not going to play. We do have Milton Bradley. Milton Bradley is currently batting .296 with 8 dingas and 57 ribs. But he's cold right now. Let's see what else we have. Out in right field in AAA, we got Alan Battle. He's batting .298 with 14 dingas and 48 ribs. Do we bring him up? Or we go and bring up a guy like Trace Coquelet or Kevin Hook, Captain Kevin Hook? No. I think we're gonna bring up Alan Battle. The dude is hot right now. So, Terry, thank you for your service, but we're sending you down to AA. And yeah, I don't really care. Let's see if he gets any better down there. Alan Battle, welcome to the bigs. You are now... Oh, he's not on the 40-man roster. Really? Oy, who's on the 40-man roster that we can ixnay? Well, let's put them in order. That's the easiest way to do this. Sorry if I'm putting you through this, but let's see who's on that. Terry Jones is on the 40-man roster. Yeah, not anymore, pal. See you later. And I don't care if he has to go through waivers because he's been garbage. And we want this guy on our team. So, Alan Battle, you are now on the 40-man roster. And you, my friend, are now in Major League Baseball. Welcome to the Expos. And you will wear number 82 because you're a guy who wears 82. I almost cussed. I'm going to be nice. Okay. So here we go. Let's make sure we get him into the lineup quickly and make sure that they don't put some piece of trash in there. So he will be right there. He's going to be our left fielder with no DH. Thank you, Alan. You'll be playing left field. With a DH, you'll be playing left field and left field. Perfect. Alan Battle, welcome to the team. Let's see what you can do as we make our way through the remainder of this season. He could have been a call-up. I could have just waited until the September call-up, but nope, not going to do it. I'm tired of Terry Jones and his trash that he's been putting up on the board for this team. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we get out of Trey Moore here against David Justice and the Phillies. And yes, that's right. I said David Justice and the Phillies because that's who he plays for on this game. So the 58 and 66 Expos taking on the 62 and 61 Philadelphia Phillies, who are sitting basically right in the center of things here. Let's go ahead and see what we get out of the Spos in this one. Trey Moore will be on the hill at Olympic Stadium. Don't know. Let's see. Let's see if it... Oh, it does. Will it show us his home and aways? Nope, it doesn't. Nah, it doesn't. That would have been cool, though. That would have been cool, but it doesn't. Okay, Trey Moore, you're on the hill. Mark Grudzielanek, and let's see who we keeping an eye on in this game. Alan, was that his name? Alan Battle. He's got no juice, but we don't care. And they're telling me he needs to take a day off. Sorry, pal, you just came up. You're not going anywhere. All right. So Trey Moore is out there trying to get his 13th win of the season. He gets a ground out from Glanville. Alex Arias walks. Try to pick him off. Scotty Rowland, who beat us up in the first series of the season, if you remember that. He hits a single. Rico, my Baronia has a first name. That's such a dad joke. That is such a dad joke. But he's going to hit a double play. Mark Grudzielanek singles to lead it off for us. And here he is in his major league debut. First at bat with the Expos. It's good old Alan Battle. And he reaches on an error. So good job. Vladdy walks. The bases are juiced. Full of Spos for Rondell White. And he doubles the bases emptied on a double from Rondell White.
That hit him.
And then
Three.
a strikeout. Bobby Hens, keep it alive, baby. Expo Hall of Famer, Bobby Hens hits into a double play. Greg Jeffries, ex-Met, ground out. Estalella,
Three.
strikeout. Desi Relaford, triples. Rex Hudler, ground out. Okay, Cabrera, can we keep the fire burning? He walks.
He's safe.
He steals second. Trey pops up the bunt. What are you doing, dude? Ground out. Battle walks again. So excellent job from the kid. And a fielder's choice from Vlad. Stevenson grounds out. Glanville grounds out. Arias singles.
He's safe.
Try to pick him off. Can't get him. Scotty Rowland grounds out. Rondell, fly out. Fulmer, ground out. Andrews, ground out. Rico Baronia. Rico. Singles.
He's safe.
Pickoff, no. Jeffries gets into a double play. And Bobby Estalella. I don't want to say it like totally wrong. All right, Desi Relaford, fly out. Bobby Hens, ground out. Cabrera, pop out. Moore,
Three.
strikeout. Rex Hudler. Rex Hudler was an Expo. I believe Rex Hudler was a Yankee. Then was an Expo. Not 100% sure of that, but I think that's kind of true. Okay.
Ball four. Take your base.
A walk for Hudler. Stevenson sacks him over. We're going to walk him to pitch to Arias because I'd rather pitch to him than Rowland, and then we load up the bases. So Scotty Rowland comes up to the plate, bases juiced. The guy has he's swinging a hot bat, and we walk him. Trey, what are you doing? Trey, what are you doing? Rico Bronya coming to the plate, and we get him to get the double play. Thank you so much, Rico. Mark Grudzielanek grounds out. Alan Battle. Can you give me something here?
Three.
He strikes out. Vlad Guerrero, ground out. It's a lot of pressure for a kid. I mean, he just comes up from the minors. He's batting ahead of Vlad Guerrero. That's a lot of pressure for a young boy. Young man. He's a young man. Okay, Greg Jeffries, ground out. Estalella, single. We'll try to pick him off his 40 speed. Desi, double, drives in a run, so it's 3-2. Rex Hudler doubles and ties the game up because, of course, he freaking does. Garrett Stevenson, well, he gives him the lead.
Ball four. Take your base.
Oh my God, it's like the A's game all over again. It's like the A's game all over again. Fielder's choice, Scott Rowland. Okay. So we're down 4-3. Get a run so that Trey Moore doesn't take a loss. That's what we want, right? We want the run so Trey Moore doesn't take a loss. Rondell strikes out. Fulmer singles.
Take your base.
Shane walks. Bases juiced for Bobby Hens. All right, the guy's batting 242, 12 homers, 39 RBIs. That he has more home runs and stolen bases this year than he had in the entirety of his real career. The man is on a tear for the Expos. There's a pitching change. Kenny Ryan comes in. Bobby Hens grounds out. But he moves the runners over, so he did something. 2 outs for Orlando Cabrera.
Ball 4. Take your base.
He walks. Trey Moore, sorry, you're coming out. And we're going to go to the hottest pinch hitter in Canada, Mike Hubbard, and he pops up. Now we have to go to our crappy bullpen. Oh, our crappy bullpen. And who do you bring in the 7th? When you need somebody, you bring in Sean Bosky. Sean, just do your job and keep this a 1-run game. That's 1. A single to Jeffries.
3.
Estalella strikes out. I have to stop when I say his name. Estalella. Desi lines out. Okay. Grizzolonic singles. Allen Battle, come up big, would you? Do something. How about a sacrifice bunt? No, you popped it up.
3.
Vladdy strikes out. Rondell singles. Brad Fulmer. Fielder's choice. Okay, so we're through 7. We're down 1. Sean Bosky is still out on the hill. He's facing the bottom of the lineup. He gives up a single to Hudler. They bring in Bobby Abreu to pinch hit. Look at his numbers. 19 dinges, 54 ribbies, and he's batting .332. And Sean Bosky says, yeah, I'll give you another single. Why not? Just add another point to that line, to that average. Glanville, fielder's choice. 1 out. Arias singles. Bases loaded. Full of Phillies for Scott Rowland. I am tempted to walk him to not have him drive in runs. Oh, no. He hits into a fielder's choice. Thank you very much. And it's Rico Bronya who's really beat us up so far in this game. Kind of, maybe. I don't know. And he grounds out. So, we get the hold. Give me a run. I'd love to see some baseball. We haven't actually seen a game in this episode because we've blown leads. So let's see. Shane Andrews. Mark Leiter comes out. He's going to take over here in the bottom of the 8th. Shane Andrews leads off
Ball 4. Take
and
your
walks. Yeah, we're going to pinch run for him. Let's see if we got a pinch runner out there. Who's got some speed? Aha. Lee Tinsley, welcome to the game. You are now pinch running. Bobby Hens.
He's safe.
And he's still second. Good job. Bob Henley,
Take your base. Ball
he
4.
walks. So we've got runners. We got fast runners on base for Orlando Cabrera. And he flies out. 1 out for Bosky. Nope, he's coming out. Ryan McGuire, you're coming in to pinch hit. Fielder's choice, but it moves the runner over. So Grizzolonic, we need a big hit here in the bottom of the 8th to tie this game up. Can you do it? No, he grounds out. Okay, so we're going to switch up. We don't want Ryan McGuire to pitch. We'll bring in the worst bullpen pitcher we have in Mike Maddox, and he gets a ground out. He gets a strikeout, and here comes Desi Relaford. I love that name. Love that name. Desi Relaford.
That hit him. He's got.
And we hit him with a pitch because, of course, we do. And, okay, so we're heading to the bottom of the 9th in this one. The Expos are down 4-3. Just to give you an update on the World Series and what's going on there, things have changed since I kind of got into this a little bit. Toronto has jumped out to a 4-2 lead. Currently in the bottom of the 4th. There's 2 outs. So, again, I mentioned earlier, I saw that play where Freddie Freeman got thrown out at home plate. I wouldn't call it gunned down. He didn't really make the greatest effort, but he did get thrown out at home plate. If they end up losing by a run, that's going to be a little crazy. That's going to be a little crazy for sure. Okay, so Mark Leiter is out on the hill for the Philadelphia Phillies in this one. Allen Battle, the Rook, the newest Expo, is at the plate to lead off the inning. Do we leave him out there? Of course we do. This is how heroes are made. Legends, right? Legends. And he grounds out because, I mean, hey, you know what? He's a Rook, right? Yeah, make all your excuses, Mike. Vlad, can you hit a jack? No, he pops out. So it all comes down to Rondell White. This all comes down to Rondell White. What can you do for us? He can fly out and end the game. Great job, Expos. A whole lot of garbage. Okay. So we've got just about 25 minutes left in tonight's episode. We've been going strong here for about an hour and 30 minutes. And it looks like we'll probably get to the month of September. So good for us. We will jump in to take a look at the Yankees just to see how good they are in our games with them. Did we play them this year yet? No, we have not. We have not played the Yankees. So we will jump into the end of August games with the Yankees. And we might even jump into one with the Mets, regardless of who is pitching. Okay, so let's see where we are here. We are at the 125 game point in the season. We're 58 and 67, so it's really not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Shoot, I thought maybe we might only have 45 wins or so by now. So the team hasn't been so terrible, but they haven't been so good. But the early parts of the experience are to see how your bullpen is, see how your players play, right? So if I was going to take this team and attempt to build off of what we have, I might have to go call somebody to blow up the entirety of the team, including the foundation, dig it all out, and just start fresh, okay? But I don't think we can really do that. So once we get through to the end of the season, probably in next week's episode, we'll take a look, see what we need to tweak, and where we go from there, okay? I don't really foresee a playoff run this year unless we can win, I don't know, the next 20 games in a row, which I really don't see us doing. But we'll see what happens as we continue on through the episode. So, again, we're going to play probably right on through. We'll get through the Mets series, the Phillies series. We'll see one game in the Yankees series. And then we'll kind of end off right at September 1st. That'll be the goal for the night. Then next week, we'll finish up the season with the month of September. Okay, so here we are. The next time we would see Trey Moore would be against the Phillies, and he will not pitch in the Yankees series. So that's kind of a bummer. I was kind of hoping to see him pitch against the Yankees, but we won't see that. So game 1 against the Mets, and we lose. Game 2, we win a 1-0 game. Game 3, we're going to win. So we take on the Mets, and we take them. We take 2 out of 3 from them. Now the Phillies, who just swept us, and we lose, win. All right, so we just won a series against them. So winning a series is not hard for us. Just winning several of them in a row is where we struggle. Okay, so here is the New York Yankees series. We are taking on the Yankees, 3 games at Yankee Stadium, and we will be watching all of these. We've got the time to watch all of these, and then we'll simulate through Tampa Bay. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We lead off with Dustin Hermanson taking on David Cone. The Yankees are 81 and 49, well on their way to the playoffs easily. And we are 62 and 69. Now, before we head into this, let's see where we stand. So we're 18 games back of the NL East. That is a lost cause. We do not stand any chance of a playoff bid by getting the division. However, the wild card is Only 5 games. We're only 5 games out of a wild card spot. So that is still a possibility. Still a possibility through 131 games. So there's a whole 31 games to go. 31 games to go. If we can win 31 games in a row, we could do it. That's not going to happen, but it's not going to happen. Okay, heading back to the calendar, especially when we start that with the New York Yankees. If we can get one win against the Yankees, I'd be happy. I would. I definitely would. Okay, here we go into the Yankee series. And we also got to make sure that it's at old Yankee Stadium, right? Yeah, not the new one. Not the new one. Definitely not the new one. All right, here we go. Old Yankee Stadium, or my Yankee Stadium. Dustin Hermanson will be on the hill. Chris Widja is the DH. And let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. Who's on the bench that's not playing then? Oh, nobody. Nobody. Okay. No, I'm sorry. You're playing, whether you like it or not. David Cone on the hill for the Yankees, and he looks nothing like David Cone. The character looks nothing like David Cone, so they did a bang-up job there for sure. Okay, Mark Grudzielanek. Mark Grudzielanek to lead off, and he singles. And Chris Widja will come up. Fielder's choice. Vladdy, can you go deep at Yankee Stadium? He does. He jacks one. It's 2-0. David Cone, take that. Single for Rondell White. Fly out for Fulmer. Andrews strikes out. So we strike first against the Yanks. Let's see if Dustin Hermanson can beat up on this crazy lineup. Knobloch doubles. Tim Raines singles. Bernie strikes out. Derek Jeter. Okay, look, I have to stop this. I have to stop this and just say, look at Derek Jeter's home run total. Derek Jeter has 41 home runs and 132 RBIs and 366 batting average. That is ridiculous. Okay, I'm a big fan of Derek Jeter, but whoever created him on this roster, wow. That's all I got to say is wow. He's like Barry Bonds. He's like Barry Bonds. This guy's a killer. If he hits a home run here, I'm going to lose it. No, we walk him. So bases are juiced for Tino. He singles one in. So it's a 2-1 game. Paul O'Neill hits a 3-run jack, and it's 4-2. Oh, Bobby Hens singles to lead off the inning. Gets caught stealing. What? Cabrera strikes out. Battle grounds out. Daniel Cabral. So we are in 1998. Now, I believe that should be Jorge Posada, right? Should be. But he might be on there and he's just not playing. And this guy, Daniel Cabral, is playing. And Daniel Cabral does not exist. He does not exist. So he must be like a kind of fantasy made-up rookie guy because he has no at-bats and no average. And he strikes out. Homer Bush, he definitely existed. He grounds out. And Chucky Knobloch doubles again. Tim Raines grounds out. Okay. So David Cone against Grudzielanek. He reaches on an error. Oh, my God. If it's who I think it was, that would be crazy. If you saw baseball in the 90s and the guy who's leading off for the Yankees, if he made the error, I'm going to laugh. No, it was Derek Jeter. You can see it right there at the bottom. Okay, so Grudzielanek reaches on the error by DJ. Okay, Chris Widja, double play because he's not playing well. Vladdy pops up. So Vladdy had all that power in the first inning, and he pops up here. Bernie walks. We'll pick him off. No, we won't. Derek Jeter singles. Tino fielder's choice. Paul O'Neill doubles, drives in a couple more. Brocious walks. Cabral double play. Thank God for Cabral. Seriously, Rondell White. He singled. Good for you, Rondell White. Good for Rondell White. Brad Fulmer
Ball 4, take your base.
is going to walk. Shane Andrews, bases juiced for Bobby Hens. Bobby Hens at the plate. This guy, he doesn't have Derek Jeter numbers. But when he comes up to the plate in Montreal, the fans there just go crazy for Bobby Hens. And he hits into a double play. Cabrera's going to pop out. Okay, so Dustin Hermanson back on the hill. The guy's giving up 6 runs. We're just leaving him out there to die. Homer Bush singles.
He's safe.
Pickoff. Knobloch reaches on an error.
3.
Raines is going to strike out. Bernie grounds out. Derek Jeter, with those ridiculous numbers, flies out. Okay, Alan Battle. He singled. Was that his first major league hit? Did we just see his first major league hit? I don't know. Gruzelanek singles, so first and second. Chris Wedja strikes out. Vlad Guerrero, ground out. Rondell White flies out. So, this team, they get opportunities and they just waste them. They do. They waste their opportunities. Tino
Ball 4, take your
walks.
base. He's safe.
Pickoff, and a home run for O'Neill. So Paul O'Neill has I think he has 2 home runs in this game. Yeah. 8-3, we're going to just quick sim. Let's see if we can come back. No, we can't. Dustin Hermanson is still in the game. Why? When you quick sim, I guess they don't take him out. We'll bring in Bosky. Quick sim through that inning. Jeff Nelson comes in for the Yankees, and that's going to do it. So I kind of got tired of just watching the team get completely worked. And game 2 we lose. Game 3 we won. We beat them 9-2. So Javier Vasquez, who actually was a Yankee, he became a Yankee. And a very good one. He was a good pitcher. He was actually a very good pitcher. And he got the win in game 3 against Andy Pettit, who has regular season Andy Pettit numbers. And, of course, we know what he did in the playoffs and the World Series. The guy is a freaking Yankee legend. Not always the best in the regular season. Okay, so we are just about 10 minutes from shutting this puppy down. So let's go ahead and roll through our Tampa Bay series. And yes, so we get 1 win out of that. The team is basically, I'm pretty sure we're close to playoff elimination. So we're 17.5 back. Let's check the wild card. We know that the East is worthless. So our wild card standings, here's where we are. We are 5 games back of the wild card still. So that third wild card spot is held by the Cubs. They are 70-67. Ahead of us are the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Mets. And we know that the Mets we can take, and the Phillies have beat us pretty good. But the Dodgers we can take too. So we're still in this thing. Somehow, some way, the 4th place Expos are still in the running for a playoff. If they can do something major to get themselves in, we'd have to have just a good winning streak. And we missed the trade deadline. I slept through it. I missed my alarm and I slept through the trade deadline, which it didn't really matter. We don't have anything that anybody is going to want for certain on this ball club. So here's where we are. We've got about 10 minutes left in the episode. We're going to take a look. We see the current records. We already saw that. You can see the most important one to us is right in front of us right now. The Braves are in first place, 83-55. The Phillies, 69-68. The New York Mets, 67-70 in third place. The Expos are 65-72. And the Florida Marlins are 59-78. Most important thing is over on the right there, you see the games back in the column. Trash. The Braves are running away with it. This is pretty common in the 90s and early 2000s to see the Braves do what they are doing, with the exception of 2000. Because in 2000, the Mets, I think, did they make it on a division? I don't know. If you're listening and you're a baseball fan, let me know. I don't feel like typing it right now. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our league leaders. Batting average, we're looking at the National League. Batting average leader is Chippa Jones of the Braves. Hits leader, Chipper Jones of the Braves. At-bats leader, Edgar Renteria, 544 at-bats on the season. We see Mark Grudzielanek is 5th, and Vlad Guerrero is 6th. So we can definitely get to the plate. Now, when we're there, what we do while we're there is not good, but we can get there. Okay? We've got nobody in hits or anything else top 5. Doubles, no top 5s for us. Bill Spires. Triples, Marvin Bernard with 6. Home runs, Sammy Sosa with 39 home runs. Now, if I had told you, if we went back into 1998 and I looked at you and I said, Derek Jeter will hit more home runs than Sammy Sosa. Okay, if you are a baseball fan and you're familiar with 1998, no. There's only one man who was hitting more home runs than Sammy Sosa in 1998. And he's not even on the list, which I find crazy. And if you know who he is, put his name in the comments. But he's not on the list. That's a little crazy. And he's not even over on the American League side. So I'm not going to scroll down because I don't want to see where he is. But come on, that's a $200 question on Jeopardy. Who Sammy Sosa was up against in the 1998 home run race. Okay, RBIs, we've got Chippa Jones. He's got 93. Chipper runs, 96. Stolen bases, Craig Biggio of the Marlins. He must have been traded. Like halfway through the season. He's with the Marlins now. Chippa Jones in walks. On-base percentage is Gary Sheffield. Slugging is Chipper Jones and Chipper Jones. Let's go look some pitching. Todd Stottlemyre leads the league in wins. Losses is Brett Tomko, or least losses is Brett Tomko. Saves is Rod Beck. ERA is Todd Stottlemyre with 166. Good for him. And then just kind of rolling through. Let's see if we got anything else in here where Expos may be. And no, we do not. So sorry to see that. If you're interested in the American League, that's the only thing you need to know is that Derek Jeter leads in almost every single category with the exception of stolen bases and walks and on-base percentage. But all the key categories is Derek. Derek Jeter, they basically made him, the guy's crazy. He is absolutely crazy in this world here. So, okay. So that's kind of where we are at the end of this episode. Some exciting stuff. Next week, we will finish up the season. We'll get through the month of September. We'll get to see the awards. We'll see basically the playoffs. If we get into the playoffs, of course, we'll get to see some of the sims and so on and so forth. We'll also watch a little bit of baseball. I really didn't mention much of what's happening in the real world with baseball today. We got to see I got to see Freddie Freeman get gunned out. I keep saying gunned. He wasn't gunned. I got to see Freddie Freeman get thrown out of home plate. And then, of course, I looked away. I looked back, and Toronto's in the lead 4-2. So some action there. There's also a football game going on. I'm not much of a football fan. Don't know too much about football. But there's definitely a football game coming on. So time changes this week. So remember to turn remember to turn your clocks back. Okay, time is changing this week. So probably when I do the show next week, it'll be in the dark. That'll be fun. That's it. I don't close very good. I'm no Mariano Rivera. But have a great week. And I look forward to seeing everybody or whoever joined me. I look forward to seeing you next week. If you're catching me on the replay, make sure to leave a comment down in the description. Let me know if there's anything I can do better. anything I can slow down for you, and I'd be happy to do that. But until next time, let's go Expos, let's go Isles, and let's go Blue Jays. Let's go Blue Jays. Hopefully we can pull that out, and by next week, we'll be seeing Don Mattingly get a World Series ring. All right, everyone, have a great night, and we'll see you next week.